Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have the 5-week update for this test that we're currently doing on the channel. So here is the test panel. As you can see, it's already wet because it has been raining here this morning. So quickly go over the 5 spray sealants that we've applied. So starting off in the order that they are applied onto the panel, we have Gtechniq C2V3. Next up, Bowden's own Bead machine. And there is some Lithium Ceramic Slam. Mirch Bead King. And then on the end, we have IGL Premier. So those are the products. This is the 5-week update. This is going to be the 4th wash. Panel has been sitting outside, as you can see. Actually got a bit of rain. So yeah, starting off, we'll go ahead and give it a rinse down. So this is kind of probably the point where we'd expect to see some changes in about 5 weeks. And other than a odd line that I'm seeing in one of the products, which is likely a bit of contamination, all are looking about the same as they did last week. So let's go ahead, get the sleeve rolled up a bit, grab the wash mitt and give this a wash. Still sticking to CarPro Reset for the wash solution in these tests, and probably will continue to do so, just keeps it fair. Found that I'm not really getting any issues with the soap masking the products when I use this, so yeah, probably going to stick with it. And I'll just make sure I get this section here where I saw a bit of an odd line. All right, so we have washed it. I do have a feeling that the last clip may have been cut short because I had a bit of an issue with the camera. But yeah, panel has been washed, so we're going to go ahead and rinse that off now. Make sure we're nice and thorough. Okay, so with that done, and while that is trying to dry, I mean, you can already see the Gtechniq, but I'll flood that section so we can watch. So as you can see, super easy to flood that one now. So it is actually getting worse. So yeah, this is the 5-week mark. Now, hopefully you can see that in the footage, but it is starting to sheet that water off. Quite slowly though. So yeah, it's getting worse. It's clearly on its way out. So we'll just continue to monitor that, I guess, each week. But yeah, comparing it to last week's at the 1-month stage, it's a little bit slower now. So go ahead and we'll try and flood the Bowden's section. So this is 5 weeks for the Bowden's, and you'll see it's getting closer. But we're not able to flood that because it will start, water will start running off before we can flood it, and then it pretty rapidly all runs off, especially when you compare it to the Gtechniq. We'll move the camera over a little bit so you guys can see the lithium and the Mirch. So here is the lithium. I'll just move that camera back a little bit so you guys can see that section clearly. There we go. So the lithium is looking pretty similar. We can, you know, kind of get towards being able to get close to flooding it, but not really. Still pretty hydrophobic, and then when we let go, that water sheets off pretty quick. Now they're all definitely taken a step down from last week, I'm going to say. So it is getting into the interesting part of the test. Next up is the Mirch. So I feel like the Mirch hasn't really changed at all, or not as much. We're not able to sheet that. It's pretty far from being able to sheet that. And that water is running off a little quicker than I'd say the Lithium. There is a difference there. So now I'd say the Mirch has jumped up in the points. It's actually looking really good. Lastly, let's come over to the IGL. So this one has been very hydrophobic from the start, probably the most so. So let's see how it's looking now at 5 weeks. Okay, so it's definitely taken a bit of a hit at this point in the test, but I'm not able to flood it, but it's not looking as good as it did. I'd say it's looking I'm going to say the Mirch might be looking a little bit better. So yeah, pretty interesting. I didn't expect to see these changes, but 5 weeks with spray sealants, living outside in the sun. It has been pretty crazy weather here in Brisbane. Yeah, that's what you expect, I guess. So let's just go over all of the products. All right guys, so I've mostly dried that down now, so we can go ahead and mist over the panel, check out what the beads are like. Okay, that should about do it. And we'll swap over cameras. Have been having some issues with this camera. I need to format the SD card, so hopefully it doesn't cut out on us. So we'll start off over this side this time with the IGL. And as you can see, still looking great. Very nice beads. Next up is the Mirch, and same story. Nice tight round beads. No real issues there. And we have the Lithium. And I mean, I can see a little bit of a difference with them. They're not as round as they were, so they are just like the when we were flooding the panel. You can see a bit of a difference, and I can see a bit of a difference here. They're still really nice beads, but if we just compare that to this side, these all look mostly nice and round. But yeah, maybe not much in it. More something to monitor over the next week. Next up, the Bowdens, and the same story. They aren't the perfect round beads in all sections, so it looks like some sections aren't as strong as others, but really, I don't know if there's much in any of these four at that point, but we will monitor that next week. Then the Gtechniq. So yeah, as you can see, not really beading up anymore. So not really much different to the tape line sort of shape of beads or the untouched section down here. So still a little bit there, but yeah, they're not exactly round, nice beads anymore. Okay, so now what I like to do, grab my hose again and just go over each section and see what it looks like as the water is hitting. And IGL, still great. Water runs straight off as soon as we let go. So look at the way the water's hitting. Come over to the Mirch. Tell you what, this Mirch Bead King is impressive. It's sort of, the way it started out is the way it stayed. It has not budged, I don't think, in 5 weeks. This is what it looked like at the first rinse. This is what it looks like now. So all of them have slightly changed except for that, I feel like. Next up, the Lithium. Still really good. That water is instantly disappearing. I'm going to say the Mirch is definitely a little bit more hydrophobic when we test it in that way. Next up, the Bowden's Own. Well, I'm sorry, I'm getting water all over my shoes. So yeah, I'd say Bowden's own, probably looking a little bit better than the lithium. Potentially about the same, really. If I'm going to say the Mirch versus the IGL is probably the battle for most hydrophobic at this stage. And yeah, really close. So all four looking great. I keep getting Gtechniq, but as you can see, that's the difference. Just floods up and takes a few seconds to get rid of it, whereas compare that. So yeah, there is the 5 products. That's our 5-week update. Yeah, it's getting interesting, that's for sure. There's definitely some changes happening. We'll say, as always, it has been the case, been impressed with the IGL, but really that Mirch Bead King is creeping up into a favourite now. May take out the whole thing, who knows? If we don't see that start to budge in the next couple of weeks, then who knows how long it's going to last at that exact same level that it started out at. And we know the Bowden's is good for about 4 months, and the lithium is so far keeping right on up with it. So yeah, 4 great products so far at the 5-week range. Let's see how they're looking next week at 6 weeks, and then we may give it a 2-week rest and come back at the 8-week or 2-month update. So may just do the 7-week wash off camera, but let me know what you guys think, if you'd prefer me to keep that on camera, because we may see some real changes in that week, or just give it a week off. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully all the footage was there. I did have a few SD card issues with this camera, so if it sort of cut out a bit quick mid-sentence, then that's probably why. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. There's plenty more videos like this to come, plus more tests, more full detail videos, so lots more like that. If that's your sort of thing, definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking so far of these products and this test. I would appreciate that. But with all that said, I will catch you guys in the next video.